Hey, welcome to another video from the series of features for radials. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can mix brushes with custom shortcuts in ZBrush. So the process is very simple. If you have watched some of the previous videos like creating nested menus, the process is very similar. So let's go ahead and minimize ZBrush, and we have radials here. And if you have watched some of the previous videos that we have in this series, we have created a couple of radial menus. So in this case, I'm going to create a brand new menu, and it's going to be just about shortcuts. But then we're going to combine both brushes and shortcuts. So let's click on Add Menu, and I'm going to call it My Shortcuts, or we can call it My Tools. That's actually how I call mine, My Tools, right? The hotkey is going to be Alt-Q, but I already used Alt-Q in one of these previous ones, so I need to make sure, actually, let's go back in here, and I'm going to clear this one for the custom brushes. Let's try it again, and let's call it My Tools, and let's record a hotkey, Alt-Q. And we're going to leave the shape as circle as well. You can choose between them. Again, I'm going to cover another video of why I would use something like this, but in this case, we're going to keep it simple and use the circle. The menu type, you can choose the advanced menu brush, and this is if you want to use brushes, or the radial menu, or the basic radial menu, which is what I'm going to choose. Now, this doesn't really matter at the end. It's kind of like to give you a head start on the setup, but you can change this at any time. And as soon as you drag a brush into your menu, even if you select the basic radial menu, it's going to turn it into an advanced menu anyway. So I'm just going to leave this as it is. Click on Create Menu. And now we have My Tools in there. Let's click on Save. And let's click on the Edit menu. All right. So far, it's exactly the same thing as the brushes. There's nothing different. You can start adding brushes by clicking on and dragging them into the slots, and that's it. However, we're going to create custom shortcuts. Now, if I click on any of these once, in any of these slots once, is going to open the specific settings of that slot, right? And here's where we can have some fun with either the names or the custom icons. But the important thing is this shortcut right here. So this shortcut needs to be, or needs to match the shortcut that we have assigned to whatever the case might be inside ZBrush. So let's go back into ZBrush, and I'm going to show you a couple of them. So for instance, if I go to my subtool palette here, and I click on Append or hover over Append, you see that the shortcut that I use for Append is Shift-A, right? So if I click Append, it's going to allow me to add new pieces of geometry, right? Or if I press the Shift-A, it's going to bring this quick pick, and I can add, let's say, a cylinder, right? So that is just a custom shortcut that I set up to add geometry. And by the way, the only reason I set it to Shift-A is because that's the same shortcut I use in Blender by default to add geometry or to add a new primitive. It is the same thing in ZBrush. So Shift-A, it just adds a new primitive. So I already have that. So you might not have it. If you want to add it, just hold the Control, Alt, click once, and then assign something in here. So that's one, the Shift-A. Then I also have one for double. So if I hide the part of this geometry, you'll see that this is hollow, but I don't see the inside of the model, right? So that is this double here. And that, because obviously this is my custom UI as well, that would be under the display properties, and you can click on double to see on and off, right? So the shortcut that I assigned for this one is the letter V. So if I press V, I can see this, right? Same thing goes for solo mode. Solo mode, I assign the letter S, so I can go click and go solo mode. So essentially what I'm showing you here is that for the things that I use the most, I have assigned a series of shortcuts that now I can plug into my radials with custom icons, and I can access all of those from there. So let's go ahead and set up at least those three shortcuts in radial so that you can see, and also show you how you can do the custom icons and all of that good stuff. So let's go back into the radials, and this one is going to be my solo mode. So let's click and name it solo, and I'm going to click on the shortcut, record, and press the letter S. That's it. And then I'm going to click on this icon, and then I can choose an icon. These are some icons that I've built myself. Again, you can build absolutely anything that you want. It doesn't have to be this one, but I'm going to use the one that I created for solo, which is this one. So it's very similar to what it's in ZBrush. It's very, very basic, 3 spheres, one that is orange, and it just kind of like reminds me that this is the solo mode. That's it. That's the whole process of setting up these shortcuts. Let's go ahead and add a couple more. So let's do double, and let's click in here. I have one for double, which is this display visibility, and that is the letter V, so record V, and one more for, let's say, append. Let's call this one append, and for append I have this one to add any of this geometry. And I'm gonna record, Shift A. Perfect. Let's click on Save and Close. And now we can go ahead and press the Alt key to trigger this whole menu. There we go. So this is a menu that doesn't load any brush so far. All it does is just trigger some shortcuts based on some nice icons. So I can click on a pen and I'm gonna append, let's say, a cone 3D. There we go. Then I can select that cone and I can go ahead and go into solo mode and I can just hide some of it. And if I wanna see inside this model, I can click on double and there we go. So those are just 3 shortcuts that I can toggle on and off. And it works the same for anything that is a button or a switch. There we go. So that's basically all there is to it. It's very, very simple. But as I said at the beginning, the focus of this video is just to show you how you can maybe combine or mix brushes with custom shortcuts. So to do that, let's go back to the radials. Let's select our edit menu of my tools. And this time I'm just going to add some brushes, some custom brushes. Again, just to illustrate the point that you can add absolutely anything you want. So 3 custom brushes. And let's go ahead and go for the standard one. So clay finished brush and also inflate. And let's save that. And let's go back into ZBrush and let's bring this in. All right. So now we can do a couple of things. We can select the sphere, go into solo mode. Actually, one thing that I like to do is also enable the polyframe. So let's just go back and do that. Again, just to show you how this is very quick to do. I'm going to remove the inflate brush. It was just an example. Go here and I'll call this one polyframe. I'm going to click on the icon and the polyframe for me is this. Again, it's just a screenshot of a cube in ZBrush with polyframe on and record Shift F, which is the default shortcut anyway for ZBrush. So just again, to show you that you can have custom shortcuts, but also default shortcuts in ZBrush. Obviously, that is the same thing. Save that. And let's go ahead and bring that in and enable polyframe, right? And then we can use any of the custom brushes or the default brushes, like let's say this one right here. See how this is distorting the geometry. Let's toggle off the polyframe again. Maybe divide this a bit more. And this is just to add some imperfections with clay. Again, just a custom brush that I've set up. And let's add some pores as well, or some details for the skin. But the point here is that this is a mix of custom brushes, default shortcuts, and custom shortcuts, all within a single radial menu. So hopefully this has been of help. In the next video, I'm going to show you how you can further customize these radial menus to suit your, let's say, your brand or the way that you work, or how you like to actually interact with your tools within Radials and ZBrush. I'll see you there.